Hello, I'm Bud McCord. I'm in Brazil, South America. Welcome to Food for Thought, Thinking with Jesus. We're walking through the Gospel of John. We're looking into exactly what John says that he saw, he touched, he experienced. He actually lived through exactly what he's describing in these words in the scriptures. We're trying to seek Jesus, hear Jesus, love Jesus, and live Jesus in the same way that the very first disciples did when they lived close to Jesus every single day for 3.5 years. He gives us a perfect look into what he came to conclude, what he saw, what he lived, and Christianity has been passed along through the scriptures with these stories, with these inspired records of what Jesus said and what Jesus did. So we're walking together through this. I hope you'll take the time to consider very deeply what John is saying to us. So good morning to you wherever you are or wherever you're at in the world when you're watching this video. So let's move along here. We've seen several things. The passage, the first chapter of John starts with, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So we know that John sees Jesus as the Creator. He sees Jesus as the Word that made everything come into existence. Second thing, there was a man sent by God. He shifts the attention away from the Word, the Jesus Christ who comes and walks among us. Then he talks about John. This is John the Baptist, not John, the author of the book. And today he makes some statements that, quite frankly, as I've read them this morning and meditated on them during the night and thought about them, they're absolutely incredible. I hope that they'll catch your attention like they did mine. Listen to this, what he says. He, the Creator, the Word, Jesus, was in the world. We could stop right there and spend a lot of time. He was here. He was here. This is 2,000 years ago. So if we understand what he's saying is the Creator of this world, of this universe, that spoke everything into existence, was here 2,000 years ago. That's not a long time ago. I'm 70 years old. And so if you were to take my 70 years that I've been here and you start going back to when Jesus was here, it's not that far back. In historical terms, it's yesterday. He was in the world, and the world was made through him. Now he throws us all the way back to the beginning. The Word who was with God in the beginning. And the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. In other words, John is testifying to the fact that when he walked with Jesus for 3.5 years, he after he's lived all the way through this, and now he's writing this gospel for us, he's saying, he was in the world. I know that for a fact. He was with him, he says. He was in the world. And the world was made through him. So there's no mistake about what John thinks about who Jesus is. And the world was made through him. He is a creator. And here's his conclusion after he saw what happened with Jesus. And the world did not know him. The world did not see him, did not hear him, did not love him, and did not want to live him. That was the general picture that he's painting for us. He came to his own. Well, on the surface, we could say he came to his own. He's talking about he came to the Jewish nation, to the Jewish people who were supposed to be the people most prepared to be able to see him and to hear him and to love him and to live him. But I think the word own, if we look at it in its fullness, since he is the Creator, we are all his own. In a sense, all of us come from his voice, in the sense that we are a part of this creation, that he came to his own, and his own did not receive him. So he's painting a picture here of 2,000 years ago, what we Christians believe, because we're with what John is saying here. We believe that 2,000 years ago, the Creator of this universe made an appearance in this world, specifically coming to us and we are his, and he wants us to come back to him, and he wants us to come back to the beginning with him, and he wants to come back to this new life. And we did not receive, and the majority of people just did not receive him. But it goes on to say, but as many as received him. So there were some. But as many, and there were some, and there were many. It's kind of a mixture of a thought, I think, here. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right. He gave the right. Now, somebody who can give you a right has authority over you. If people who have authority can give us permissions, people who have authority, true authority, they can say, you may do these things. You may become this. So he's talking about the authority that Jesus has as the voice from the Father. But as to as many as received him, he gave them the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name. We become children of God. We become children of God by believing in his name. And his name is the Word. His name is God. His name is Creator. When we believe in Jesus Christ, we were saying that we believe that he is, he always has been, he is the Creator, and he was here among us. And he gives those who believe on his name a particular right. And that right is to become children of God. So what does it mean to become a Christian? It means to go back into a relationship with the Creator as children go back to a relationship of a father, a family, a place of beginnings. Now he goes on a little bit more. He says, who were born not of blood. He's not talking about physical birth. He's not talking about racial characteristics. He's not talking about the normal flow of people becoming children. He says, not of blood, nor the will of the flesh. And this is not a human idea. And he says, nor the will of man. So he eliminates all the level of the will of man, the blood of humanity, and the will of the flesh. And he says, forget about that. This is all coming from the work of God. You know, I'm so glad that we're doing this study, because for me, I probably taught more out of the book of John over the last 48 or 49 years than any other book in the Bible. But this gentle walk, this calm walk in the morning for 10 or 15 minutes has already here just made me, it takes your breath away. And I'm saying that it hasn't always taken my breath away. I'm saying to this particular time, it is taking my breath away. It is that what is said is so profound and so shocking and so powerful, it just takes my breath away. And rather than believe less, I find myself believing more and more and more. And I think that's the way it should be. I think that the way our faith should move forward is our conviction that Jesus is the Word, that he was with God, he is God, that God sent people to tell us to get ready because he was coming. He came. He was not received by his own. He was not received by his own creation, by humanity. But as many as received him, and that's good news for us that people can receive him, and many have, he gives us a right. And this right establishes that he has the authority. He is the final word on who can become a child of God. The only way one can become a child of God is by believing on his name. So there we have it. Christianity is Jesus. Is Jesus. And we are not born by some racial lineage or cultural lineage, or we don't decide this on our own. It's not of the flesh nor the will of the man. This is not a story about the will of men. This is about the story of the will of God made visible and available in Jesus Christ. I would recommend to you, if you would today, if you would just go back and read chapter 1, verses 1 all the way down to verse 13, where we've come to today. And just get the picture, because we're going to go into the book here really quickly, and the story's going to begin to unfold very rapidly, because we're going to watch what happens as the Word walks among us. And we're going to watch this through the lens of John and the other disciples, and we're going to watch this drama unfold, and we're going to get all the way to the crucifixion and the resurrection eventually. But if we lose sight of this opening picture that has been given here, I don't think that we really will appreciate what we're doing. Remember now, my job in this is to have my breath taken away. I think that's my job. My job is to be so enamored with what's said here that perhaps you would say, you know what, I feel the same thing. I'm feeling the same thing. And if you're not feeling the same thing, just keep looking at Jesus. And remember, I'm kind of like a guide. I just want to say, have you considered this? Have you thought this? Have you looked here? Have you noticed this? And you know what? If we were sitting around a table as a group of people, you might say, hey, bud, did you see this? Or did you see that? Have you ever thought of this? Because I'm just reading, and then I'm just saying, hey, have you noticed this? Have you watched this? And so I pray that you'll keep walking and you'll take the time to meditate on these things, and I pray that your heart would be warmed. He was in the world. Wow, just that I know. If that is actually true, and we believe it is, he was in the world, and the world was made by him, made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor the will of the flesh, nor the will of man, but of God. As a believer, you have not been born because of blood, human blood, or by the will of flesh, or the will of a man. You have been born of God in Jesus Christ. That's worth thinking about. Hey, have a great day. God bless you. Stay focused on Jesus until you see him, hear him, love him, and live him. God bless you.